Hey guys, today I wanted to talk to you about something that we see in our office all the time, something that's very misunderstood, and something that I wanted to help you guys understand a little bit more in depth, and that's ear infections. So if you're a parent and your kid has had one of these, you know that it sucks. Your kid's miserable, they're not sleeping, they're in pain, and it makes the whole house just kind of fall to pieces. So let's talk about it, and I want you to understand what's actually happening on the inside, because we see them very often misdiagnosed and definitely mistreated. So in our office, we like to connect chiropractic to the things that are happening inside of your child's body. And this, I drew a little chart here. I'm a very good artist, so bear with us. This is going to help us understand how ear infections are happening and what's actually going on in your child's body. So typically your child gets an ear infection when they are teething or when they have a cold, something where they're producing a lot of mucus. So with mucus, this is a really cool, very accurate drawing of a sink. So picture your child getting a cold. That's the equivalent of us turning on one of these little handles and having water come out. The way that your child's body is supposed to work is that cold or whatever is causing that mucus to happen is supposed to come in and go right down this drain, right? But what happens in an ear infection is we get a plug somewhere. You picture putting the plug in your drain. So now, no matter how fast or slow your water is coming into the sink, this water is going to start to fill up. And eventually, it's going to start to overflow. That doesn't feel good. When you're a toddler or a baby and this is happening inside of you, it hurts. When you're an adult and this happens, this really hurts, because most of the time adults complain more than kids. And with this, the things that are normally done for this are antibiotics, or in worst case scenario, tubes. So antibiotics is the equivalent of doing their best to shut this water off. The problem with that is as soon as something happens to turn the water back on, it comes back. So say they get another cold, say they get more teeth coming in, the water turns right back on. Then we try antibiotics again, but maybe this time it doesn't stop the water, it just lowers it down to a trickle. No matter what happens, this is still here. If that drain is not messed with or taken out of the picture, the water will always overflow no matter how fast or slow that water is coming in. Tubes is just like putting in a temporary drain, let's say over here. So now you have this overflow drain that instead of needing to go through this little drain, now all the fluid's going to come out, and those things, they work great. Tubes do a great job of doing what they're supposed to. The problem is your kid has to go under anesthesia, and it's a surgery. And if this is the last resort, then absolutely this should be used. But in a lot of cases, we can avoid them. So our job as chiropractors is to work on this little tiny plug of fluid or whatever is stuck, causing their bodies to not drain the fluid the way that it should. So we also have a little graph of their actual anatomy. Again, this is a terrible drawing, so bear with us, but this is an ear. This is Megan's ear because it's pierced in a bunch of spots. So hopefully not your baby pierced 5 times. So an ear infection happens similar to this, just in different paths. So first, if they're congested, fluid's going to come in on this side. Fluid's going to start to fill up this area, and it's supposed to normally drain here, that direction. But again, with ear infections, instead of draining, it's plugged. So now we have this plug right here. The hard part with this, again, is the same as this analogy. Antibiotics will attempt to shut the water off to stop the fluid from coming in their ears, but if the drain's still there, it doesn't matter. The next time this happens, it's going to be coming right back. Tubes will puncture this right here and allow the fluid to drain out instead of down the way that it's supposed to. So let's completely rethink the way we're looking at this. Instead of just looking at antibiotics and tubes as potential helpers of ear infections, let's try to look at this. So my job is twofold. Number one, we focus on trying to get this fluid to start to go down. The way we help that is through manual massage and through helping the nervous system work properly. So the nervous system is the brain, which again, sorry, terrible drawing of the brain right here, but this kind of works. It connects to different parts of the ear and around the ear to tell it to do its job. So these little red guys are different muscles. There's muscles that connect here and all over around this area. These are very crude drawing of some of the bones that are attached on the inside of our ear. All of these muscles are controlled by the brain and the nervous system. When these muscles are spasming because of interference on these nerves, then this happens more often. So my job as a pediatric chiropractor is to allow their brain to work the way that it's supposed to. When it works a little bit better, a lot of times this starts to drain. This little drain starts to open up and fluid starts to go down the way that it's supposed to. So the next time your child's suffering from one of these issues, talk to a good pediatric chiropractor because more than likely they might be able to help.